I randomized everything in Pokemon Y.
Okay, let's play this. Are you kidding me?
That's right, all Pokemon, evolutions, move power /PP, TMs, items, and more are completely random. As if that was not enough of a challenge, I also decided to play this game through with Nuzlocke rules. Essentially, I can only catch the first Pokemon I encounter in each area. If a Pokemon faints, it's dead and cannot be used again, and I must nickname every Pokemon I catch. For this series, I opted to use professional sports teams' names. So, before our journey even begins, we need to choose a starter. For this, I like to use the trainer ID, specifically the last number of the ID. If it's 1 to 3, we select the leftmost Pokemon, 4 to 6 the middle, 7 to 9 the rightmost. If it's a 0, we use the next number in from the right. We will use this same process for the Kanto starter later, but using our first number. As you guys can see here, our last number is a 1, so we will select the leftmost starter, and then our first number is a 4, so we'll select the middle Pokemon of the Kanto starters after the first gym. Also, for some reason, my rivals wanted me to nickname myself, which is kind of stupid. Nicknames should just happen, not be forced. But that being said, I called myself the only thing I could think of, the GOAT, because that's what I'll be in this series. Now was the moment of fate. We could literally have anything for our starter. It could even be a legendary. Let's go ahead and get something great. And Mega Mawile. Nice. Not terrible. It could have been better, but there's still something really good. Really good type coverage and a really good mon for early game. Let's go ahead and call it Predators because I could see it being a Predator in the wild. Now, before we get through our first battle, it is important to note that Nuzlocke rules will not be applied until after we get Pokeballs. And in our first battle against our rival, we did learn that Predators has a really good moveset. 85 power Metal Claw, 150 power Echoed Voice, and 85 power Cross Poison. We should be able to sweep with this.
It's using Brine, that's
And maybe not, because Tentacool is just overpowered for whatever reason. Thankfully, Nuzlocke rules aren't applied yet because we don't have any Pokeballs. After a quick little visit to Mom to drop off the letter and get some Pokeballs in town, it was time to see what our first encounter was going to be on Route 2.
Please be something good. Please be something good. Please be something good, I'm listening.
Not really what I was looking for, and it's a late evolution too. That's not great. Maybe it'll have some good moves. Either way, we named it Jets after the Winnipeg and New York Jets, who have both been massive disappointments this year, just like Spoink. And it doesn't even really have a real moveset, just a 70 power thief. Now, I gotta interrupt this video and ask, do you want to see this run before the next video comes out? I am streaming my attempt of this series on this very channel, so make sure that you smash that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. We want to hit 25 subs by the end of February, and we can't do that without your support. Now, back to the video. Now, with a little more training, we were able to move on to the Santaloon Forest. This place also has guaranteed captures like Route 2, so a legendary here would make me set for life.
Here's the encounter. I'm closing my eyes. That is not a strong mon. That's that is an early game road, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I was wrong and I've never been glad to be wrong.
Yo, that's not a legendary, but it's still freaking amazing. We caught the Altaria and named it after the Denver Nuggets due to chat requests before checking its moves. And it had a stab Dragon Claw that is also OP as hell with 100 power Dragon Claw. This move will definitely help us clear the rest of this forest. However, as we move through the forest of overpowered Pokemon, there was one critical problem: experience. You see, I have level limits throughout the series related to gyms and or story elements, and I was butting up right against the level limit for the first gym of level 12. This would be an even bigger problem after we got to Route 3. That problem can be summed up with one word: Lugia. The first legendary of this series has arrived early, but still, it was too late. Route 3 is the first area of Pokemon X and Y that is not a guaranteed capture. Pair that with the fact that I only had regular Pokeballs and no status moves, and this was a nightmare to attempt to catch. While there was a lot of close calls...
You got 20 balls to throw with this thing. Come on. Come on. I don't trust it.
Unfortunately, we ran out of Pokeballs and had to run from the Lugia as to not absorb the experience from it. This meant that we only had 3 Pokemon heading into the first gym, but after a little thinking, I figured it was worth a shot to see if we can get an encounter from Route 22 before taking on the next gym, to spread around the experience a little bit. This was a pretty big risk, however, as there was a trainer right in front of the gym that I had to beat before taking on the gym. Also, there's a stupid little trainer gatekeeping the entirety of Route 22 from us right now. Not to mention that she had a freaking Raikou, which did not help the experience problem. Fortunately, I was able to take out a Raikou and her second Pokemon, which was thankfully a very weak Axew, and then get my Route 22 encounter.
Okay, here we go. Please be something easily manageable. That's something weak. That's something weak and early. That's catchable. Chikorita.
However, this was not a simple capture either, as it was a Chikorita. Not as bad as Lugia's catch rate, but starters also have a notoriously low catch rate. Fortunately, it was relatively easy for us to catch after the Lugia disaster, as RNG was on our side. We chose to name our Chikorita after the Pittsburgh mother-loving Steelers, but then we went to look to see how powerful it was. Unfortunately, it was a little less than stellar, as its only damaging move was 130 power, 90 accuracy blast burn, but not a terrible starting set. After this encounter, we needed to do just a little bit more training to make sure we were ready level-wise for the gym without over-leveling. Since we were already close on XP, this was a relatively quick process, and we were able to move on to the gym itself. We ended up fighting 2 of the 3 gym trainers, which were all pretty simple and straightforward, but then came the fight that still haunts me to this day. The Viola fight is still one that haunts my dreams. Thankfully, her lead was just a simple Petalil, but I suspected this was just to get me caught off guard. All we had to do was swap out of Jets 2 Nuggets after a couple of Thieves, and then hit it with an Oblivion Wing. Now, you might be thinking, this isn't so bad. Why does this battle still haunt you? Well, her next mon was a frickin' Heatran, and I had nothing to take this on. This fight was very much a war of attrition and healing. Nuggets was ultimately able to take it to about half health before we had no more healing and had to swap out. We swapped into Jets to try to use Thief on it a few times, maybe steal an item, but this ended up blowing up in my face very spectacularly.
I'm like legitimately concerned right now. Mega Punch will resist it, so we'll survive it. Never mind, we don't survive it.
Yeah, 1 death on the first gym of the game. Not a great feeling, especially since we missed our Route 3 encounter. Not to mention that I had no plan at this point to take this thing out. I genuinely thought the run was dead here, but that was until I remembered one thing. Steelers, the Chikorita has Swagger. This is a very risky play, as Swagger ups the attack of the Heatran, but it also confuses the Heatran. If Heatran could just hit itself enough in confusion, we would win by Heatran knocking itself out. It was very risky, but I had no other options at this point. Eventually, Steelers was a single Mach Punch away from death, so I swapped into Predators to hope to keep Steelers alive, and then...
Hit yourself. Hit yourself. Yes! Oh my gosh!
Heatran knocked itself out. We did it! I wasn't nervous, you were. After this gym, I realized this challenge might be a little bit more than I bargained for. So if you want to join me on this adventure as we look to beat this game, please go below this video and smash that subscribe button and drop a like. I truly appreciate the support. And we'll be live around 1 to 3 times a week, give or take. So don't forget to join us live and make your presence known in this series. And with that, I will catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.